Taking us once again back to the colorful and tumultuous year of 1964, the second season of Godfather of Harlem finds Bumpy battling the New York crime families for control. But his plans will face challenges from not only the Italians, but from his rivals as well, including Adam Clayton Powell Jr., played by Giancarlo Esposito. Take a look.
For too long, the mafia has kept Harlem in a stranglehold. With drugs, extortion, arson, and a whole lot of other things. Let's knock them back on their heels, like Liston's gonna do to Clay.
I don't follow sports.
Well, the odds makers have it 7-1. But if you'd like to make a friendly wager, I'll give you 20-1 that Liston's gonna knock that loudmouth out.
Well, the one thing I do know about sports is that betting on them is illegal.
Just testing you.
So we have to start by talking about this show.
Godfather of Harlem Season 2 is a powerful season. You know, the wonderful part of this show is that each season is a different year. So we get a chance to travel with these characters through history, time, and space that really took place. And our writing by Chris Brancato is absolutely amazing, and the writing team. If you're a New Yorker, you got to watch this show. If you're not a New Yorker, you got to watch this show. Forest Whitaker is absolutely phenomenal as Bumpy Ellsworth Johnson, as is Nigel Thatch as Malcolm X. Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays the Chin Gigante, a real live gangster who really lived, who really did have a strong and powerful grip on the drugs and prostitution and alcohol in Harlem. So our story is so based in the truth.
And you did leave out one character.
Yes, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who I play, was a very fun, a very charismatic preacher, congressman, ladies' man, drinker, smoker, in church on Sunday, gave incredible sermons, and a lawyer who wrote the Civil Rights Act. So in season 2, Adam Clayton Powell is really trying to push forward the Civil Rights Act that affected all of us today. So this show allows us to see how it gets translated from history into humanity.
Now, I do have to ask you about The Mandalorian, because if I don't, I will get assaulted by the internet. What was an element about working on that show that when you come home, you talk to your family, you share with them?
Oh, I have to pinch myself. One element is that I have a cape, and I've always wanted to be the caped one, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And to be able to do the dance with the costume is a part of the strength of the character. I love working on this show because you're in a world that's very different than the one we live in, but one that's not different in its cultivation of its moral attitude. You know, the empire has fallen, and so then new seeds have to be planted for it to grow again. And so this is a wonderful thing. And our Mandalorian is a courageous, brave human being. And then he gets tasked being with a Grogu, a baby who he assumes is a baby. But that baby happens to be 50 years old, who has a wisdom and is developing a power and strength that can change the world in its own way. And so this is the hero's journey. And so what I come home and talk to my children about is equating that journey to my life. Not only am I working with the best of the best in Jon Favreau and David Filoni and all of the artisans who bring the show to life, I'm also working with the best of my memory. I love the first early Star Wars movies. They took me to a place of hope, and they took me to a place of journey. And that hero's journey has been my journey, I realize. I mean, my father's Italian, my mother's African-American, my father and mother divorced. I lived in somewhat of poverty. I remember the food stamps I had when I was a kid. I remember being ridiculed because I spoke some Italian, and I didn't leave that heritage behind. So I realized that when I'm standing on top of my TIE fighter in Mandalorian, all of my dreams have come true. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm able to be in this incredible world that's the world of creation that I expected to happen because I could see it in my mind's eye. And I'm having a ball now. And when you say to me, you're on all these great shows, The Mandalorian, The Boys, Better Call Saul, all at one time. I never expected all this would happen at one time. But did I expect it? Did I desire it? Did I envision it? Did I see it? Did I call it to myself? Yes, I did.
9 p.m. Sunday nights. I know where I will be. Giancarlo Esposito, it was such a pleasure to catch up with you again. Thank you. Truly, thank you.
You as well. Pleasure is all mine.